FIFA 23 has over 700 teams that you can pick in career mode, which leads to the problem: which one is actually right for your next save? It can be one of the toughest parts of the game, picking a team that not only you'll find fun, but also one that will be challenging enough for you to play multiple seasons with. Today I'll be sharing my guide on how I pick my teams, and hopefully by the end of the video, you'll always be picking the best team for the save that you want to do. So firstly, what is the type of save that you want to do? This is the thing that makes the biggest difference to which type of team you can pick. If you're into rebuilding teams, you might want a team with a massive budget that doesn't have the best squad. If you're into Road to Glory side of career mode, you might be limited to only Germany's 3rd division and England's League 2. You can usually separate every team in every league into one of these 4 categories. Firstly, there's the championship contenders, and these teams are usually instantly fighting for the title from season 1. They'll usually have the best teams in the league, full of the best players in the league, and some examples of this type of team could be Atletico Madrid or Liverpool. There's also the historic teams, so these might have been teams that have been contenders maybe 20 years ago. They usually have a lot of fans, they've got a big stadium, but they do now have an average squad full of average players. Some examples of this could be Nottingham Forest or Valencia, where these teams did have success in the past, but right now they're not really where they want to be. The third category is the middle of the road teams, so these are usually sides that are maybe 3 or 4 signings away from being title winners. They might have a couple of very good players, but usually not enough very good players to compete at the top end of the league for a full season. You can imagine teams like Crystal Palace or Bayer Leverkusen would fit in these categories, because they both have a couple of very good players, but not entire squads of them. And the final category you should be looking at is the Road to Glory teams. So these are usually the longer saves where you have to rebuild the entire squad. Usually these are newly promoted sides, where teams like Bochum or Monza from Germany and Italy respectively could be fully rebuilt, and you could slowly progress up the league as you improve the squad. So once you've decided on the type of save you want to do, let's narrow it down even further. Not only does the team's league have an impact on how fun the career mode is, but so does the team's continent. For example, if you play in Europe, you'll be enjoying 3 fully licensed Continental Cup competitions and have the most leagues on the game to choose from. North America only has 1 league and no continental competitions, so this can make it a bit more boring for long-term saves, but it can still be fun for some shorter career modes that are maybe 1 or 2 seasons long. South America is a bit like a combination of Europe and North America. There aren't too many leagues to choose from, in fact only Argentina is fully licensed and playable from South America. You do, however, get fully licensed cup competitions with real teams from all of the other South American nations, even if you can't play as them yourself. Of course, there's no real African representation on FIFA, and finally, Asia is surprisingly underrated when it comes to continental competitions. There is an unlicensed Asian Cup from Season 2 onwards, and quite a few leagues including the Indian, Korean, Saudi, Australian and Chinese leagues that you can pick from. So now we know where the club we want to play is from, we know what type of save we're interested in playing, and now it's time to decide on what star rating we want our club to be. There's no point looking through the Premier League if the save you want to do is with a 1-star team, because all of the teams there will be way too good. Star ratings will increase roughly by about half a star for every 2.5 points of overall on average. A team where every player is 80 rated might be 5 stars, where a team where everyone is 75 rated will only be 4 stars. There's some really awful sides in strong leagues, so don't think you have to go to tiny leagues to get the teams you want. There are some very interesting leagues like Denmark that have 4-star teams and 1-star teams in them at the same time. I might do an entire video on this trying to find the hardest career mode saves when it comes to star ratings, so make sure you subscribe if you're interested in watching a video like that. So with these leagues having 4-star and 1-star teams at the same time, it means you could eventually build one of these smaller teams up to be a big team while still having a pretty challenging time. That's a lot more fun than starting off somewhere like Ireland where the best team is 1.5 star, and if you get up to 2 or 3 stars, you're just going to be crushing the league every single year. So once you've decided on the star rating you want, have a look through the menus on career mode, compare the board expectations, the budgets, the kits and the stadiums, and eventually you'll find the exact right team for you. I've done this with basically every save I've started in the past 2 years, and now my saves last a lot longer and I enjoy them way more. So let's have some examples of this entire process. Let's say I'd like to start a new save. I want to try and join a team with a little bit of history, maybe so I can recreate the best period they've had as a club. I'd also like to try South America because I haven't really played there too much on FIFA 23. I'd like them to be a decent team, probably about 3 stars. This means I'll have some slightly better players in my squad to begin with. So because we're in South America, that means I'll be looking in Argentina. Looking through some of their clubs, you've got big ones like Boca Juniors, you've got Racing Club, but I think Estudiantes is instantly the ideal club for me. They have 4 Libertadores in 68, 69, 70 and 2009. They're 3 stars and are based in South America. That's exactly what I wanted. We can try and recreate their 3 Libertadores in a row using their current squad. We can have fun with a 3-star team where we're not going to be too bad in Argentina, and of course we do have access to the Libertadores and the Sudamericana. This should be a fun save, and it's exactly what I wanted. Let's try it again. This time I'd like to do a road to glory. Asia is a continent I really rate on FIFA, so let's do a save in that area. Asia is also pretty bad at football, so I'm thinking maybe we only want a 1-star club to make this a real challenge. There's a lot of matches for these different suggestions, with teams in China, South Korea and Australia looking good. Depending on what kind of thing I wanted, I could go for China. Of course, they've got a reputation where they buy a lot of big name players, so if I was interested in that, I might go there. Australia has a very level playing field when it comes to football. Every team has similar budgets and a similar level squad, so if I was interested in maybe keeping things a bit more realistic, I might go to Australia. But keeping the road to glory aspect of the save I want to do, I think I would go for Sangju Sangmu. Not only do they have a pretty interesting storyline about how they function, click the card in the top right to find out more, but they also match with everything I wanted. I think they'd be a very long road to glory, they'd be based in Asia, and they have a low star overall rating. So again, this should be a fun save. Not only are they the worst team in Korea, but they also have a full army team where every player is basically on loan from other Korean teams or from other clubs in Europe. So this could be a super fun save, and hopefully I would enjoy this for many years to come. So if you got any suggestions for how you like to pick your teams, or if you got any ideas for teams that you think other people should know about that they might never have used before, please do leave them in the comments below. Like I said, I'll try and make a video very soon on some of the most difficult teams, so this will be teams that are maybe rated a couple of stars below the average rating in their league. So I know, for example, there's some half a star rated teams in China, where there's also some very good teams in there still with some of their former big name players which haven't left China just yet, so that could be a very difficult start. While I'll probably try and do all of this, find the hardest teams by using a spreadsheet and using some algorithms, if you've got any ideas for very tough saves, I would love to hear them in the comments below as well. But right now I'll say thank you for watching. Thank you for the couple of people that have become channel members very recently. Feel free to join the channel by pressing that button next to the subscribe one, and I'll thank you all for watching. Cheers and goodbye.